Somodevilla American presidential elections have a binary structure. Either the Democrat or the Republican wins, no matter how much Americans want other candidates. This is the election. Third-party candidates cannot and will not win. They are simply stealing votes from the mainstream Republican or Democratic candidate they are closest to. They are helping candidate on the other end of political spectrum. Progressives who voted for a third-party candidate this year or didn't vote at all are actually voting for Trump. In 1992, Ross Perot ran one of the most significant third-party campaigns in American history, winning nearly 20% of the vote. The Dallas entrepreneur campaigned as run-of-the-mill populist conservative with billionaire business background, slightly crazy-sounding fiscal and trade hawk, sort of precursor to Trump, but without the racism, fascism, criminality. Perot won millions of votes from disgruntled Republicans enraged by President George H.W. Bush's willingness to compromise with congressional Democrats on taxes. When Bush ran for president in 1988, one of his key campaign promises was not to raise taxes. Taking a step back after taking office accelerated Perot's rise. Perot's strong performance in 1992 helped elect Bill Clinton and return Democrats to the White House for the first time since Jimmy Carter. I covered Ross Perot's campaign for the Los Angeles Times in 1992. And experience convinced me that third-party candidates launch presidential bids they know are futile to satisfy their egos or because they hold a grudge against one of the major candidates and hope to harm their own interests. In Perot's case, it was both. He had a huge ego. I saw this side of him during a lunch interview when I challenged one of his false claims about his work history. Perot looked at me angrily, then took out his wallet, slammed it on the table, and said loudly that he could bet all the money in it. I laughed and told him I didn't have as much money as he did. Another important factor that motivated Perot was his intense hatred for Bush and the Bush family, whom he viewed not as true Texans but as wealthy northern carpetbaggers. Throughout the campaign, Perot pushed outlandish conspiracy theories about Bush and other Republican officials. Perot abruptly ended his presidential bid in July 1992. Just as he was beginning to come under real scrutiny, he awkwardly restarted his campaign October, in time to participate the televised presidential debates. Perot's actions helped Clinton at almost every turn. He dropped out of race as successful Democratic National Convention in New York drew to a close, stunning country and cementing Clinton's position as only alternative to Bush. When Perot returned to the race in October, he prevented Bush from gaining momentum. Perot ran again in 1996, with less success, but still hurt Republican candidate Bob Dole. MAGA Dark Age. It's unlikely that any third-party candidate this year will come close to